Hi everyone, Jake from Dao. Welcome back to the next tutorial. Today we got another brand new track, of course, to be going through. Hopefully you've been spending time going through your basics. Hopefully by now you're getting really used to the basics, you're getting used to the notation, starting to replace some of the fingering patterns with the notes as they're numbered in the tablature. So we've got your basic structure down. Now we're going to be introducing a lot of new things. So actually in this song we're going to be introducing a bunch, so we'll jump right into it. We've got new added beats. We've got high octave notes being introduced, as well as some different notation. Okay, so this tutorial is gonna be full of a bunch of stuff. This is probably gonna complete your basic structure of notes before we start moving into like technical, advanced skills. The first thing we need to talk about is we've got a new dot. Okay, so in that first line you've got the third note and you've got the dot next to the one. Okay, so we already specified in the earlier videos that there are no dots for the middle octave. So the dot in the middle doesn't stand for middle octave. As long as you keep that clear, you'll be okay. When you have the dot in the middle, it actually means to add an extra half a beat. So in the case of the first bar, you've got that one dot and then a sixth low octave with the dot underneath, cut in half, so it's a half beat. So really simply, you add the half beat to the one, and you make the sixth only a half beat. Okay? So if we have that, we have a 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 6. Okay, that'll be the first bar. So you have do and do and do la. Okay, then those will form together to make your regular 2 beats. You still have your 4 beats per bar, so it fits in very nicely. So you're adding 1 half beat and taking 1 half beat away. Simple. The good thing about this track is it also has the combined version of that. So if that's the separate version, which is very simple, we have the combined version in the last section. You've got the 3.5, all underlined with the 5 underlined twice. So again, every time something is underlined, you have to cut the beat in half. So with the 3 being cut in half, it becomes half a beat. With the 5 underlined twice, it actually becomes a half and then a quarter, so it becomes a quarter beat. With that dot, normally it's add extra half a beat. In this case, it's add a quarter beat. So, because it's one note, it's not a 2 like the one before, or the previous one. This actually becomes like a 3, and then up halfway, and then 5. So it's going to be a very quick change, almost like another technical term called glissando, which is like a flip, a slide off. Almost like that, but it actually fits with the rhythm, so it's a quarter beat. So it's specified as such. So with this song, you get both versions of that, adding an extra beat. There also will be later versions where that extra beat is underlined twice. Again, the same thing, it becomes an 8th note. That'll be really high tempo, fast paced songs. But remember, anytime anything is underlined, you cut it in half. That's just the basic rule. So the tablature becomes very simple to read. Okay, so we've got this coming in. Also, we've got high notes. So we've got the dot above. We've got exactly one high note in the whole song. In the third bar, you've got that one with the dot on top. So you've got a half beat do on the high octave. So starting to introduce some of that more difficult blowing techniques. Just introducing it with the very first note. Lots of songs will go a lot farther than that, but in the beginning, your range doesn't have to be that wide, so we're just kind of introducing it slowly. So that'll be the notation. If you see that repeated, you know that's a high note. Opposite of the low note with a dot underneath. Simple. Otherwise, the last piece of notation that's a little bit new is you'll see that last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars have brackets around the beginning and the end. Really simple. You've probably seen these before. These are pretty uniform across all different tablature. If you see that with the colon and the 2 lines, it basically means just jump back to the beginning section and repeat. The beginning bracket and repeat from there. With that in mind, you finish the song, so to say, and when you hit that bracket, you go back to the first bracket and repeat those last 5 bars one last time. And then you don't have to get stuck on an infinite loop and just keep repeating. You only repeat once, unless sometimes it'll be specified to repeat twice or change up or something like that. In this one, very clear and very clean, just repeating one time and then falling out on the last note like we usually do. those are the last couple things that we've got. We've got half notes being introduced in different ways. We've got high notes, we've got a lot more middle scale, and we've got the repeat bracket coming in. So the beats per minute are actually listed at 80, so it's a little bit of a fast pace. We'll slow it down and play it at a 60 real quick. So if you take your metronome, and so you hit that, okay? And I'll literally slow in the beginning just to get the feel for the notation and kind of play along. Alright, so that's Lullaby. That's the next track, tutorial number 4. And with these last couple of tools and the ones we talked about in the previous tutorials, that's going to cover most of your basic tempo, beat, and tablature notation. From there, you should be able to read pretty much anything in its basic structure. In the next tutorials, we're going to go through some of the little techniques that will be listed above the notation, so you'll see little abbreviations or characters or things like that, and depending on what kind of notation you're looking at. With this, remember, drop down in the description and you can get some links to the metronome, to the notation, recording. Then come back for next week. We'll be going over some more advanced techniques, kind of slowly sprinkling in some different tracks and introducing you to some of the other techniques that you can use to kind of add some flavor to some of the music. Keep practicing, keep going over this song. Hopefully by now you're starting to get a really good feeling and you can start playing some tracks. Okay? Until next time.